What is a weird smell you enjoy? Old comic books. The aging paper smells like heaven, which is so much better than the plastic barely paper stuff that's used today. When you go into a shoe store and you smell the plastic of the soles of the shoe. It smells like petrol but way better. I love that musty, old basement smell. It is how my grandma's basement smelled when I was a kid, and it was filled with all sorts of treasures, perfect for exploring on rainy summer days. The smell of a tire warehouse reminds me of errands with Dad. Also, the smell of fresh playing cards out of one of those sealed plastic packs like Pokemon. When the house smells like cigarette smoke. I hate cigarettes and don't smoke myself, but my grandparents' house smelled like those old-timey cigarettes and the smell just takes me back. Cow shit. Used to spend summers at my aunt and uncle's dairy farm. Best times of my childhood playing with animals and riding motorbikes. Most here are not old enough, but the smell of paper fresh from the ditto copier in school way back in the 60s and 70s. A skunk, as long as it's not too overwhelming. I like it if it happened kind of far away. I think it smells good. I love the smell of a fish market. Every time my dad would take me when I was little, I would love inhaling the scent of the fresh fish and shellfish recently brought in. Maybe not that weird, but I really enjoy the smell of clothes freshly out the washing machine. Like, still wet. I will stand there and smell shirts before I reluctantly throw them in the dryer. It's a sickeningly good smell and I yearn to eat it. Petrol is a common one. Adjacent to it I'd say the smell of the hot bitumen in a road that has been in direct sunlight on a hot day. That smell of freshly cut grass on a warm spring summer morning. Not weird, but it definitely brings back memories of my childhood. Tar. From ever since I was a really little kid and on family outings we would go to the La Brea tar pits in Los Angeles, and I would get to see the saber-toothed tiger and mastodon bones they pulled out of the tar. Then walk to the Natural History Museum to see the dinosaur bones and the Egyptian mummy. Such happy memories, such a happy smell to me. Hardware stores. It's an odd mix of leather, plastic, metal and lawn fertilizer. It's the best smell in the world. Pizza crust. I like to break it open and smell it. Typically large chains have the worst smelling crusts, but many times small-time places have crusts that smell incredible. Breaking open the crust of a freshly made pizza and whipping that bread is amazing. Silly putty in newspapers. Brings back memories of pressing the putty onto the comics in a newspaper. Ferrets. Everyone says they stink. But as long as it's just musk and not shit piss it's intoxicating. Wipe a finger up that crease between your thigh and your grundle. Bring it up for a long sniff. And yeah, it's the stuff. If you remember the old King Kong ride at Universal Orlando, there was this smell, not quite gasoline, but definitely close, that was euphoric. Whenever I smell it I remember that ride, happy memories even though I was terrified. Engine fumes mixed with gasoline and sea air. I have a distinct memory of walking to a dock in Mexico with my dad before the sun came out. Gasoline. I always take a big whiff after I fill up the tank. Pensive face. I ditto the smell of old yellowed brown books. I saw a cool infographic once that was indicating the types of compounds created from the breakdown of lignin in the paper. It likened them similar to almond or vanilla. Thoughtful face. I don't know how it's called, but if you lift your clean fingers to your nose and pull back the fleshy part to smell underneath the fingernail. I can't describe the smell. My girlfriend's skin. I have a good nose, and to me, people I know well each have their own personal smell. It sounds creepy when I say it like this, but my girlfriend's personal smell is just super comforting and nice to me. Freshly made subway station. We had one made when I was 15 around where I lived. It was the best smell. My grandfather smokes a cigar once in a while. My Grammy makes him go outside, and he's basically shunned for the day. I think the secondhand smoke smells really good. Other people's houses, because everybody smells like where they live, and the scent within the actual house gets explained as soon as you're in the house. Initial startup exhaust of a PT6 right when it lights off. Normal running exhaust is okay, not the same. Standard turbofan doesn't hold compare at all. Old electronics and other people's laundry. Not particularly on other people's clothes and in their houses, but when you're just out and about on a walk and smell laundry mixed with fresh air. Love that shit. I lost my sense of smell 20 years ago, still not sure how, but it's funny how vividly I remember all the smells people are listing. Diesel fuel exhaust. Instantly reminds me of countless school bus rides from grade school through high school. Skunk. I accidentally taught myself to enjoy skunk during a sensory perception exercise I was leading. Skunk. I accidentally taught myself to enjoy skunk during a sensory perception exercise I was leading, the water in the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. I've smelled it other places and it just makes me feel happy. Gonna save gasoline and car exhaust. Though my reasoning is that my dad is a mechanic. So I think of him, smiley face, the collective smell of new school supplies inside a new backpack at the beginning of the school year. Moran's empty fart jar that ran out of atomic shit molecules over a year ago, but I continue to crack open and huff like a rehabilitating crackhead who just got their hands on a ton of whippets. Garbage truck exhaust. My dad was a garbage man for 42 years. Takes me back to hanging with him every time. I love the smell of new rubber tires from bicycles. It reminds me of being in the bicycle section of a Walmart or wherever when I was a child. There is a certain type of plastic that smells so good, and brings back such a feeling of childhood and joy. I remember a lot of inflatable pool toys being made of this type of plastic. Skunk on a warm summer night, from a bit of a distance. Public libraries. A barn with cows or horses. The bleach and bleach cleaners. Good memories from the beach smelling like that in the early morning. I love the smell of my daughter's breath when she was a baby before she had solids, milk only. I don't know why, but to me it was a real comforting smell. Wet markets, fish markets. Spent my summers growing up in Singapore and my grandma would always take me to the market. Absolutely love the smell.